Good morning, lovely friends. Welcome to another episode of Mornings with Nana. So grab your coffee, whatever you want to drink this morning, and let's do some Christmas kitchen crafts. Today, I want to share with you my absolute love of making snowflakes. I love snowflakes. They add so much to our winter, and everybody's gotten blizzards, they're snowed in, but you know, these are perfect for all decorating during the winter's time, not just at Christmas. So I kind of leave mine up. Now, these are some that I've made, and I'm going to show you these. These are all made out of one square piece of paper, and I always use copy paper. You can use tissue paper, which makes a lovely, delicate snowflake, but you have to handle it carefully and store it carefully from year to year. These are a little bit more sturdy since they're out of copy paper. You can also use any kind of thin paper that's easy to cut, such as a larger piece of origami paper, or if you want to get really creative, you could use a piece of wrapping paper. This edge gives us a more rounded look. Each one is different, like real snowflakes. This has got the pointy edges of it. And I have the center is solid. Sometimes I put a little cut there, so it makes it look a little different, a little bit more lacy. And here's a combination of those two. So I wanted to show you these, how gorgeous these are. You can use these also as a little centerpiece on a present that you're wrapping for someone. It makes a nice little delicate gourmet touch to any kind of wrapping paper or any other craft. You could put them on a Christmas wreath, anything. So I thread mine up with a piece of sewing thread, and you can see my high-priced paper clip. You can get creative on how you want to hang those up, but today I'm focusing on how to make them. Now, first of all, if you've seen my other video on how to make my Christmas star, you take a piece of copy paper and you make it into a square. And so what you do is you fold your copy paper over, which is a rectangle, and then you make it into a square. So watch my hands. We're going to do the same kind of thing, a triangle fold. This is a real simple craft. It looks like $1 million. Don't get intimidated. We don't care about doing anything difficult. We look for things that are gorgeous, unique, handcrafted, and cheap. That's how we roll. Okay, so we fold this over again to a second triangle, okay? Now this, usually I'm pretty careful, doesn't have to be precise. When you're making a snowflake, you want to crease your folds. It'll make it much easier to cut. But you know what? I don't have perfect little edges here where I cut it. We don't worry about that. It doesn't have to be a mathematically exact square. So just don't stress about it. But this little fold down here, I'm going to open it up so that you can see. You fold it over like so. And you want to protect this fold, the horizontal fold, the vertical fold, not this part down here. We don't care about that part as much. So, but to keep this in line, always keep that vertical fold up. Now, take the bottom point, fold it up, crease it again. See how I'm creasing? And then just take something. Hey, I don't care what you got, something hard. Crease that baby. Crease it again. Crease it on all sides. Then take this part, the other part. Remember, this is our vertical fold. And then we're going to fold it over again. And lovely friends, if you like this idea, please remember to like and subscribe to my channel so that you can keep updated on all the cool things we're doing in Nana's Kitchen Crafts. So, crease that on down. And look, you're ready to cut this. All right. Remember, I want to see your final results, because for me to tell you is one thing, but if you don't share it back with me, how do I know how wonderful yours turned out? So the first 50 people to comment on how their snowflakes turned out, I'm going to write you back. All right, now look, your paper should look just like this. See, we folded it. You just fold it over. The folding is important, so I'm going to repeat this. Fold it over. That's easy. Fold it over again. So you have this little point here. All right. Now, look. The more you cut this, the lacier this will look. See? This has a lot of cuts. It looks hard. We're not cutting each individual little hole. No, we're cutting on the fold. And when you do that, it cuts through all the layers. I don't have a design for this. I'm not writing on here. I'm not using a pencil. I am not going to sit and waste my time figuring it out. I'm just whacking at it. Sometimes I curve this. Sometimes I make little angles or triangles. And sometimes I make a straight line and curve the other side, just like this. It's up to you. Each person is going to make their snowflake individual. Now look, see when you have a big cut like this right here, sometimes I come in to make that cut more intricate. I cut a thinner little triangle. Don't get lost in my instructions here. Pay attention. This is your craft. You do it just the way you want to. This is just something I like to do. I like to have a larger angle, a small one. Doesn't matter. Oh, and then I can come back like this and cut into another section that I have previously cut. And I make it a little bit smaller and another pretty little angle. You can cut curves. Let's see how that looks. Let me just do like a curly road through a mountain there. See how that's going to look. Let me do a circle here. I'm just going to whack this up just to give you an idea. I don't really ever spend a lot of time on this. And those of you that are parents or grandparents picking up children at school and you're stuck in that parent pickup line, you'd be surprised how many of these things I have made sitting in the parent pickup line. This is a nice little craft, fills that time you're waiting, and you have some wonderful stuff that maybe you wouldn't have had time to make once you're home. So I cut all the way down along that fold, and then I take a look at it because nothing wrong with opening this thing up. Now I've made this in a different way, and I'm going to show you an option to it with my second snowflake so you get another idea how they might turn out. Take all your little pieces out, and you don't need any special scissors for this. Just cut it. See how I'm doing that? Okay, let's say this is enough for right now. I'm going to take a look, see how it looks. Open it up. Now this one might turn out a little bit more square because I didn't cut the top of it off. And this is really a nice thing to do, is to have a little variation in your snowflakes if you're going to hang them, say, down a hallway, which is what we did. We have about, 200 of these hanging down the hallway. So we get a snowstorm here in North Florida. Look at that. Isn't that cute? Now you say, well, yeah, I like that. But I don't want mine square. Well, we could do a different cut. But if you ended up like this, you can fix it if you don't like it. See, the last fold goes over like this. And so you have the normal fold right here, the normal edge. What would happen if I chop that off? No problem. Let me show you how different that will change your little snowflake. It will give you a whole different edge. And this time I'm going to show you some smaller little cuts. Little dainty cuts make it more feathery. You can also do like a pointed star cut, which is what I just did right here. See how that is? You got more triangles put together. And this time I'm going to trim the edge, just the tip of that off, just to see, hey, what would it look like if I had a hole in the middle? Would it make it look more different? Look. Ooh, get a different shape here. Ooh. And you're still working with the same little piece of nothing that cost you, paper. See now, let me flatten it out a little bit so you can see how that looks. See now how in the center here, we have little heart shapes going around, and the middle is open so that you have a little more airiness, okay? And you've lost the squareness of this original snowflake, and you turned it into something totally different. Now, you see how this, well, I just made this. So you, sometimes this will flatten out on its very own when you hang it up. But if you are in a hurry and you don't want to wait, you can put it on your ironing board or a towel on a counter and take your steam iron and just put it on there with a towel over it, a towel underneath it so you don't hurt your counter, and just give it a little blast of steam, and I'll flatten that thing right out. So there's one of those. Now here's the folds that we worked with, and I want you to pay attention. This is simple. This fold here, you leave this part on. That gives you the original square shaped snowflake that I just made, which are lovely. If you don't want that, then see this line, you can see it a little bit different since I hadn't cut it. This is where you would cut right along that edge to make a more rounded one. And we just don't care if you whack that off. You know, it's paper, costs you nothing. Now, one other little secret I was telling you about in the previous video I did when I showed you how to make that lovely Christmas star out of copy paper. And I said, this is how you make the square out of that copy paper. Don't throw the scraps away. Use those scraps for this project. And then you take your little rectangle leftovers, fold it in a triangle like this. See how I did that? No problem. Then you have this little edge. I just cut along that edge like that. And I make a square. And guess what I do with this? My lovely friends, you can go ahead and make itsy tiny little snowflakes out of the scrap paper that we would have thrown away from the first project. Never throw away good paper. You can always do something wonderful with this. Now, say you had a bunch of these little snowflakes hanging all over down your hallway. Wouldn't that be pretty? Wouldn't it just make you feel wonderful? And when it's February or March and you've got snowflakes out in your yard, you're tired of shoveling that snow, come inside and you might be able to get a little bit encouraged about how beautiful each snowflake is. These things are fun. You can use these, say like this, if you took a piece of construction paper, you could mount that red, say it was red construction paper, mount your little snowflake on there and make some lovely little bookmarkers out of this. Or maybe it would be a place to write down a Christmas cookie recipe and send it to someone. All right, lovely friends. I hope you had a wonderful time with Kitchen Crafts with Nana. So remember to like and subscribe my channel and put a comment down there. Tell me how you liked your snowflakes and how they turned out for you. Thanks. I'll see you again soon. Bye.